and welcome to this week's episode of VollThrottle, where today we are covering episode 3 of Drag Race Germany Season 1. I am your host, Extra Extra, and once again, I am joined by my super special German correspondent, Thomas.
Hi! I'm amazing. I'm doing extremely well.
Well, how did you feel coming off of last week's elimination of barbecue, coming into the Rusical challenge?
Well, I was very upset about barbecue going home. She will be sorely missed. However, I love me a Rusical. Rusicals are I think they're my favorite challenge even more than Snatch Game, so...
Yeah, Snatch Game is a staple, but each of the Rusicals is so different, and it has the potential to be really killer, and it has the potential to be really awful. Looking at you, season 13. I was really excited to see the Rusical, wondering what level of cringe we were going to get. But the girls seem excited about it, and it seems like it's in a lot of their wheelhouses, so I knew it was going to be entertaining one way or another.
Yeah, for sure.
But first, a small disclaimer to please not send any hate or any negativity to any of the queens we talk about today on the show. We love these queens and we want to support them, so go and give the queens you love a like and a subscribe and a comment, but there's no need to spread negativity and hate. When Barbie comes into the workroom that morning, she's got another onesie on.
Yes.
It's like she'd been busy painting.
Being painted.
I want this runway, this onesie runway to continue. It's like the weekly onesie watch. Right off the bat, when they announce that it's a Rusical, Kelly Healton seems to be the most excited. It definitely seems to be what she came here for: singing, dancing, entertaining. And you can tell as they move into the workroom, the focus really stays on her, and there's another really touching conversation in the workroom while they're getting ready for the main challenge, centered around Kelly and centered around her struggles doing drag and being in the entertainment industry as a dark-skinned person. And this is something that really hit home for me. I mean, as someone who has lived their whole life in the Deep South in the US, I mean, racism is a huge problem. I mean, as much as a lot of people would like to deny it, it is a daily issue for so many people. And regardless of whether it's on TV in Germany or here in the States, I think talking about racism is so important. And I know a lot of Americans think of Germany and the rest of Europe as being this very progressive place where these kind of problems don't exist, but I mean, I can tell you from personal experience in Europe that that's not the case. I mean, Thomas, I'm sure you can tell me a lot more about what racism is like in Germany.
Yeah, I think I don't want to say I was very happy that they showed about this moment, but I was very glad that the issue was brought up, because there's so many people that would try to deny that racism is an issue in Germany. But I mean, speaking from my experience as a German, I know a lot of people that struggle because of their skin color, and people that try to deny that it is an issue. I really ask you to go sit down with a person of color and just talk to them for an hour. That's it. And try to ask them about their experiences, and you'll notice that it definitely is still an issue here. And I was really glad they brought it up on the show. It was a really heartfelt moment. I really felt for Kelly. She's amazing.
She addressed the topic of conversation and immediately broke down after showing such a brave facade this whole time, all 3 of these episodes so far. And I mean, obviously we're speaking as 2 white people in this conversation, but the time that I've spent in Germany has usually been in not necessarily bigger cities, but university towns, and so it's been rich with diversity and people of all backgrounds, and has been really open and accepting, which I've really loved. But I know that once you get out of those big cities and into the small towns in the countryside, that it's not only racism, but rampant homophobia, transphobia, xenophobia. It's kind of the norm, which is disappointing to see in a place that you've thought of as this bastion of civil rights. But when I was in Germany in 2008, 2009, it was kind of one crisis, and then when I was back in 2017, 2018, after several other waves of migration, the rage just kind of shifts from group to group, and it hurts to see. But like you said, there's no better advice that I can give than to not only ask a person of color about their experience, but to listen to them, and to listen when they say this is a problem, not to deny it because you've never experienced it. Yeah, I think if people could get over that, we would be a lot farther progressed as a society.
Yeah. Since I come from like a small town, there 100%, there really is a huge racism issue there. They're really close-minded. I mean, I even barely grew up with like any people of color around me because they weren't given the same opportunities that I was. I really started to only like meet them when I came to the town where I live now. So yeah, I think it really is an issue, and yeah, I'm really glad they brought it up.
Well, people tend to fear what they don't understand.
Yeah.
And there's no better way to start understanding something than to interact with it.
And be open with it.
Yes, exactly. Like, you have to come into it knowing that you have something to learn. It's not about you, for once.
But I'm a white man. Oh my god.
Gosh, it must be so hard for you. Okay, so, on the runway. I mean...
Uh-huh.
I feel like a lot of people could read her and her looks on the runway as being like a little simple, kind of similar to Spanky Jackson. Not the most extravagant wardrobe, but good God, I love her so much.
Oh my god, yes.
The way that she wears this, I mean, I'm a sucker for purple any day, but that super vivid flash of lime green from the inside, matching with the shoes, is such a vibrant pop. And that is one fucking handsome woman. Like, look at that face.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing to criticize about this.
The branding of the earrings perfectly placed, and the hair not a strand out of place. And that gap. I fall in love every time I see her.
I'm amazed. I did not think I was gonna like fall in love with her like I did. Yeah. She's amazing. She's a great host too. I think she's doing a great job at teaching them and mentoring them. I always love her eye makeup. I think they're always doing great things with it. She looks great.
Yep. And of course we have her right-hand man, Gianni Jovanovic. And he is also sporting a lovely, cool palette this evening with this tiger, I guess you could call it a brooch, right there at the throat. That is, that's extravagant. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. He's cute as always.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that smile is just radiant.
Yeah.
And Diane, just lighting up the judges panel, of course.
She's so cute. She's so like... I just love looking at her. She makes me so happy.
I don't know what it is. It's either just the volume of the hair or the amount of zero fucks that she gives about what language. Yeah. I love her, and I love her interactions with Barbie.
Yeah, I love her gloves too. The earrings, amazing. She looks stunning as always, and she just makes me happy.
What does her necklace say?
Brill, right? Yeah.
Of course.
I mean...
Love the branding.
That's so fotsick.
Damn, you're so right.
Yeah.
So this week we do have a special guest judge, Konstantinos the Stylist. Were you familiar with him at all?
No.
Yeah, no, I had...
Not at all.
I hadn't heard of him either. But much like Sheeran David, he is a big ol' sassy personality that I thought was a great addition to the judges panel. Seems to have a lot of experience in the business, so he knows what he's talking about. And he was definitely having some fun. I saw some comments online, and you can even tell in Untucked that the girls thought that some of the critiques were a little brutal and a little intense. I feel like some of that may have come from the editing or production trying to give the judging panel a certain vibes. I saw this a lot in reference to Gianni as well. It seems to me like they're giving Gianni a similar treatment that Jeffrey Boyer Chapman got on Drag Race Canada. The production wanted that spot on the jury to be this like super sassy, shady, super gay sidekick role. And I mean, that's what he served, and he had a lot of fun giving it, but it came off as inauthentic, and it made the judging critique comments seem harsher than they were, when really they were all like best friends having a really great time. But he got so much shit for that, and I feel like they're giving Gianni a similar treatment in that they want him to be this like super sassy, shady sidekick, where he's just so nice and just so pleasant that, you know, even though he's serving that, it just comes across a little strange, and I could tell that some people were reading up for it. It doesn't bother me because like it's a TV show and he is playing a role, and like he's a joy to watch do it. But
don't forget that it's like a production.
Well, exactly. I can't help but see the fingers of production in all of that, and you got to take that with a grain of salt.
I will say that I really like Johnny in general, and I think his critiques come off as a bit sassy. Konstantinos, I do think his critiques were really harsh at times, but then again, he does seem to be very deep into that whole fashion world, styling, and yeah.
It seemed like whenever he delivered a really harsh critique, that there was always kind of like a smile and a wink, wink, nudge, nudge at the end. It's kind of the vibe that I thought he was going for.
It kind of felt like the harsh dad, like he did just want them to improve.
Right. So next, let's take a look at each of our queens this week. We'll take a look at their Rusical performance, at their runway performance, and we will rate them heiss if they are hot and scheiss if they are not. You ready to go, Thomas?
Born ready.
The runway theme this week is Glitzerparty, which one thing I do love about the German language is their word for glitter is Glitzer, which I think it just by default is glitzier than just the word glitter.
It's like if you glitterize the word glitter, right? It just makes it like zingy.
You yassified.
Yes. Which, oh, by the way, we haven't talked about how amazing the Rusical theme is, right?
Oh, yeah, let's talk about the Rusical for a second. Thomas, tell us about the Rusical theme and why it is so funny.
I personally was so happy with the theme because it's a play on, obviously, drag and the German TV show called Tatort, which, like, personally, me and my family, we never really watched it. Everybody and their mom, though, knows Tatort in Germany, right? Like, for lots of families, it's like they explain or start to explain in the episode or in the Rusical.
I know what it is.
Yeah. For many German families, it's like a Sunday staple. And I thought that was such a great idea to, like, actually make a Rusical out of it. I did watch a few episodes here and there, but it's such a German thing to do, so I was really happy to see it. It was so fun to like. I never even went to Berlin, right? But even I've heard of the club that they're alluding to or that they're talking about in the Rusical.
If you know one club in Germany, you know Berghain,
which is like super hard to get into. Yeah, I thought it was really clever. I'll be honest, I really liked the Rusical. I think the lip syncs were maybe not like as clean as they could have been. But I really did not dislike anyone's performance. I think they all did an amazing job, and they all looked amazing.
Yeah, you could tell when they were doing the recording that there were no flops.
Yeah, I think Lele said there weren't any flops.
Yeah, like, well, she was worried because she wasn't a singer. She was hoping there would be more flops.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, but you could really tell what they were prioritizing. You know, unlike the American seasons, I don't feel like they prioritized like big group choreographed numbers. They focused more on each of their individual characters and their delivery for their roles. You could tell that they did not overproduce the vocal recordings, which I appreciated. They put enough production on them to not be distracting and to not sound terrible. But you could tell that the queens were actually singing, and you could tell who it was, which I feel like is produced out of, you know, maybe some of the American seasons.
I gotta say that for me, this was actually one of my favorite Rusicals of all time. I really loved it. I just think that the roles that they had, they were amazing. None of them like really flopped. I just loved it. I loved the looks. I loved everything about it. Yeah.
I think its biggest issues are similar to other Rusicals. Some of the roles are kind of imbalanced.
Oh yeah.
There are
yeah.
and I've seen some conversation online about unfairness in the casting and in the role distribution in Rusicals because it seems like some of the roles are just set up to fail. And it's no coincidence that the three kind of chorus girls standing outside the club end up being the bottom three, even though they did a great job. And I think they all stood out in unique ways, and they all really made the characters their own. That didn't really save them from the bottom.
I mean, when I think about it, they were smaller roles compared to others, but we have seen a lot of queens in past seasons still stand out, even if they only had like 3 lines compared to like 50.
Like China.
I just remembered they brought up the GZ, which is something that is universally hated in Germany. It used to be only about like TV and radio, and like for someone like me, like we don't even have. I mean, I have a TV, right? But like I use streaming services. Nobody under 40 uses TV anymore, right? I wouldn't even know which device I could like listen to the radio on. I don't have a car which has a radio. Like I don't have a radio at my home. So everybody hates it. They did like start to build like an internet presence, which now I'm fine with paying it because I'm like, okay, I consume the product that you're producing now. And in general, we should be glad because it gives us like the opportunity to have more or less independent like media. But yeah, I thought it was really clever that they brought it up in the musical because like every German person like knows it and hates it.
Oh, absolutely. And those are the kind of things I was hoping you could shed some light on for us. So first up on the runway, we have Miss Lele Cocoon. She is a star. She's a constellation of stars this week. Honestly, I didn't know who this was when she first walked out.
Yeah.
Which I love. I mean, it's not the most over the top of looks. And I kind of wish there'd been a little bit more like padding or some feminizing to the silhouette. But I do love the colors and textures and the kind of chaos that makes up this look. I did think it had impact on the runway.
I really don't like this look. She came out and I was like, well, I'm not a fan. She did put a lot of work into it. It's not bad by any means. I just personally felt like she could do better, or she has done better on the runway. It's a net for me. It's not Scheiß.
Yeah, I'll also give it a net.
Yeah.
Mainly because we have seen such big ideas from her runway, and although this is glittery, it falls flat on the concept for me.
Yeah.
I guess. And there are certain things she could have done in the execution that would have given it a little bit more va-va-voom.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll give it a net. In the Rusical, Lele had pretty much the main role, and I don't think she necessarily knew that when she signed up for it. Overall, I thought that she delivered. I mean, it's a big role, and I do kind of love the kind of awkward Swabian boy drag that she shows up in. It's very like a Dorian Electra career boy. I thought that it was really fun, but you could tell that she's not the most confident singer, and although she hit all the marks, I feel like so much more personality could have been pumped into that character. She is not Swabian, but she is Hessian, coming from Frankfurt, and so she did, pump as much of like her like Hessian dialect into the Swabian dialect that she could. But you could just tell that she wasn't super confident, and so I feel like there was a lot more that could have been given for that role.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised because I think she really tried. What I did love about her performance was all of the over-the-topness, right, that they do in Broadway as well, like all the big hand movements. That was amazing. Yeah. I really loved that. Other than that, I wasn't really happy with her performance. But again, she did a great job. I'm not mad about her pick.
Yeah, no, totally fair. I will give her performance in the Rusical and her look on the runway a net.
Yeah, same. We will agree on that.
Okay, up next, Kelly Hilton.
Oh my god!
So in the Rusical, we had really high hopes for Kelly Hilton. She made it very clear that she was excited and prepared for a Rusical, and so we knew that she had some chops to show.
She also made it very clear that she's an amazing singer, though.
Right? Oh.
I mean, hello? Like, out of the blue.
So yeah, you knew that the vocals would be there, and the role that she got was just picture perfect. Like this, 20s crooning singer on the mic that transitions into this, like badass DJ behind the booth. I thought she nailed it. I thought she showed up, and I thought she showed those kids how it's done. No notes.
Yeah, no, she did amazing on the Rusical. There's nothing to criticize about it. Her singing voice is amazing. Her performance was amazing. Everything about it was great. Yeah, not the happiest about her runway.
So I know that she is a super old school queen, and so I personally love to see these like old school pageant gowns. And I guess she has given that to us already this season with that blue and pearl look. I feel like this one kind of has the same level of like opulence. I think she looks great, but I do agree that it could be much more exaggerated. Like her hair looks great, but it could easily be 3 times that size, and I would be even happier. The dress is opulent and looks great, but if the shape was a little more exaggerated, it would be even more impactful. I love that she has the arm pieces on, but if they stood out a little more, maybe in color or matched to the design of the dress or something a little more, then I feel like it would have that much more oomph. I do think she looks good though. So as far as the Rusical performance and the runway goes, I'm gonna give her a heis.
Rusical heis, runway net.
Up next we have Lorelei Rivers. Now this is another time that I thought about Shea Coulee. And I hate for Lorelei's sake that I did, because this is a really great idea for a glitter party runway. Like a construction outfit is like the farthest thing that you could imagine being at a glitter party. And obviously it is covered in glitter, and the helmet is made out of the hair, and the clipboard is glitter. It's a great idea, and you can tell it was well received by the judges. But since I was thinking about Shea Coulee's construction couture outfit, this just pales in comparison. I mean, the silhouette is non-existent, and there's little to no ornamentation or over-the-top big extra things. Like if you're gonna have an idea like this, I love the idea, but like it needs a little something else. And at least Shea's had that massive patchwork cape that flailed out behind her that I feel like really rounded it out. So I do love the idea, but...
Was Shea's look on her All-Star season or on her first season?
It's on her first season.
Okay. Well, then there's no excuse. I was gonna say, like... No, I mean, like...
It was a design challenge! She made that there.
Yeah.
This was something that Lorelei brought from home.
Yeah. I love this outfit. I think it was really clever so far. I'm really enjoying her much more than I did in the first episode. I think she has clever ideas, which is what I love to see on the runway. Yeah, no, I really like this outfit.
Well, and good ideas are so much of what makes a good artist and a good entertainer.
Yeah.
Execution skills develop over time, and, tastes come and go, but, like, if you have the good ideas...
Yeah, you can't really train yourself to be creative.
Right, you can
but
train that muscle, but if it's not there to begin with, then she's obviously working with a lot.
Her performance in the Rusical was really fun.
So yeah, she played the like coroner mortician role,
which was a really fun role, and she looked amazing. She did super well. Her singing is great. Her performance, her acting skills are great.
Well, and being a theater queen, I think we expected her to have some chops this episode. And
I was really surprised she did not end up in top.
Well, when she started, like before the challenge, my one concern for her was that, like a lot of theater queens in theater challenge or singing queens in singing challenges, she would be worried too much about sounding good and about doing her craft well, that she wouldn't deliver as entertaining of a performance, because we've seen queens get tripped up on their own skills time and time again in these kind of things, especially when the pressure is on for them to perform well in a
Jan.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And so whenever her part started, I thought that she was falling into that because it was very kind of delicate and high, and I'm trying to make sure I sound perfect. But then to switch into that necrophiliac, real low, gritty voice.
Yeah.
It showed a huge breadth of range for her, and I'm really glad that that's how it went, because at first I was worried for her, but I thought that role gave her a lot of room to play. And I'm not gonna lie, like, to go from such a kind of lighthearted and fun Rusical to all of a sudden there's necrophilia and suicide jokes. It's like, oh, okay, we are going this way. And that's kind of a big part of drag is, you know, being irreverent and saying things that make people uncomfortable unexpectedly. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not sad about it. But yeah, she did great. I thought she covered a lot of ground and showed that she is a theater queen through and through.
Yep.
I will give her Rusical performance a heis. I'm going to give her, like, a net. Just because it's a great idea, but there was just so much more that could
Yeah. I think I'll give a heist for both Rusical and the runway. I think I really enjoyed the look. I think it was a clever idea, and it was more glittery than some other look that we will see. So yeah, heist.
Well, up next is Metamorkid. And Metamorkid, I did not know what to expect going into the Rusical, just because going off of what we know about them, musical skills doesn't necessarily seem to fit in with that skill set. And I can never tell whether they're feeling confident or not, just because they do their own thing. It's a very, like, I don't know, kind of Sasha Velour in your own world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just over here doing my thing. And I'm glad to see her feeling good and doing well, because that role was very unique. The role of the commissar, the policeman, was really unique, and I think she was smart to take her lack of confidence in her singing ability and translate that into not only a really fast lyrical delivery, but with the Austrian accent, I feel like she really made it her own, and I enjoyed it. She looked pretty deranged, like, as the judges said, like, her mouth, so much of her face in this look, like, with the tiny wig, it's so over-exaggerated and is so expressive, and yeah, I really was entertained.
I think she looked amazing, and as you said, I think she made a smart choice, and so sometimes you have to go for your strengths, right? But some other times you have to try to make up for your weakness, and that's what they did this episode. So yeah, I thought that it was a clever idea. I thought the big mouth and the makeup, it really fit the character really well.
And on the runway, man, anytime somebody has to squat to get through the opening to the runway, I know you're in for a treat. And goddamn, like, I know it's not the most overtly glitzy and glamoury look with like tons of glitter and rhinestones, but this is breathtaking. Like, the sheer scale of it, she looks otherworldly. Like, not only is it huge, but there's a lot of subtle sparkle here. Like, we've seen a lot of really bold, bright colors, patterns, two-tone things. To see this soft, peachy color with the feathers and the sparkles across the bodysuit and this big, long, flowy train, it was such a departure from her previous looks. I was just blown away. I had to pick up my jaw off the floor.
Yeah, she looks amazing. I mean, the sheer height of this, it must have been so hard to walk in this. And to bend down, like, hello? I can't even do that, like, without wearing this headpiece.
Yeah.
No, but, like, for real, I mean, I'm amazed. My only critique about this is that, like, I would have wished it to be a bit more glitzery, but...
Yeah. No, that's fair, but as I rewatch the runway, you know, she kind of shows a little bit more of the outfit as she goes, does a little bit more of a reveal right before.
Her body pieces.
And the more you look, the more shine you see. The more detail, the more shiny bits that you see are covering, you know, the body piece that she's wearing. And I feel like there's just enough to make it fit the brief. and I'm glad because it's a stunning look.
I'll definitely give her highs for both the runway and the musical.
Absolutely.
Like highs for everything.
Whew. Okay, and next we have the only Naomi. Naomi had one of the 3 smaller roles in the Rusical, which, as we said, was kind of a challenge for those girls to stand out. I do think that she looked great and that her performance was good, even though she was very worried about not being a singer. I thought the song about fucking the bouncer was hilarious, and I thought her delivery, I thought that she delivered it in the best way she could, considering her skill set vocally.
Yeah, I agree. She wasn't outstanding. She definitely wasn't like gonna win this, but I thought she did well, especially like given how it did seem to be out of her comfort zone. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I love Naomi.
On the runway, I feel like I usually do when I see her on the runway, that she looks amazing. Like she knows how to present a look. Even if that look is simple, she makes it look expensive and she makes it look luxurious. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting a little bored. Like these little mini dresses, like they do look so good on her, and so I get why she wears it, but it's so simple. And I feel like there could be so much more versatility that she could show. And I worry that the rest of her catalog looks just like this, you know? That her entire runway package is just stylish mini dresses and fierce makeup.
I hate to admit that I'm gonna have to agree with you now, because there's another queen who falls into the same category for me, who does the same thing, which I will criticize later. But no, I mean, I love Naomi. She does know how to dress well. Her face is always on point. Her makeup is amazing. She looks great, and she fits the theme well. But I agree with you. I'm not surprised at what she's bringing to the runway, and I love it when queens have like a distinguishable style that I know, okay, that's them
Immediately.
But I also want to like see versatility and like
it's about maintaining your original style while adapting to a diverse set of challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah, some queens are really obviously great at that and really give that, you know, kind of winner energy. And I mean, it's only been 3 episodes, so we can't, it's hard to make, you know, these kind of judgments at this point. But I feel like it also didn't do this look any favors that we saw Lorelai's look from last week, because she not only made that in the workroom, but it also looks like a better version of this. You know, it's a similar material with a similar texture with chains.
Yeah.
And honestly, this isn't really that glittery. I mean, the light catches that fabric, but I wouldn't call it glitter.
Yeah, I guess. I see what you mean.
I like shiny things regardless of why it's shiny,
Yeah.
but if we're being particular about the brief, then maybe it's a little bit of a miss.
Yeah.
But
No, I get
you know,
that. That's fair.
I'm gonna give her presentation and her runway look a net.
Maybe I'm biased.
Hey, you're
But I really love Naomi. I think she did well in the challenge, and I really loved her runway look as well. Although I do see your criticism and you're making a great point, but
give her a high, Squirrel. Give her a
highs. I love her. She's
I love it
amazing.
when we disagree. We're like family.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Up next, we have Nikita Vegas. Oh my gosh, this runway look, I really loved. She was the only one on the runway to use fringe and this tinsely texture to connote glitter, and I thought it was a huge success. I mean,
Yes.
it was constantly in motion, and it was flying all around her, just shimmering. I really loved it.
I was amazed. It's also so smart, given the fact that her name is Nikita Vegas, and for me, like, those fringes is a very Vegas-y thing.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. But you're so right.
She looks amazing. She sold it on the runway as well. The way she made it move, made her outfit move on the runway was amazing. Her performance on the Rusical was great. I loved her character. I loved the way she looked. For me, I was really surprised that she wasn't in the top as well. But I mean, I could say that about a lot of queens, but I just really think it was a great Rusical, and she did really well. Her performance was great. She can sing.
I mean, I knew she would ham it up, but when she got in front of that microphone and let loose,
Hello, I was super gagged. She's great. I did not expect her to be able to sing like that or perform like that. But yeah, she did amazing.
Absolutely. No, and this on the runway, this face and this hair is somehow giving me like Trinity the Tuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, it's got that level of perfection.
But she's always given me that kind of vibe.
I guess you're right, but it didn't occur to me until this runway because, yeah, there's that kind of like, I've been in this business for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hilarious. Get used to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Trinity the Tuck there. Gosh, I didn't realize that.
I feel like she brings the kind of professionalism that Trinity brings along with the... You know how on Trinity's season, at first you think that she's only just a look queen, but then she herself finds out that she's so much more than that and that she's like super campy and fun. And I feel like Nikita brings the same energy, and I'm here for it.
So yeah, I will give her performance in the Rusical and her runway both highs.
Yeah, super highs. Yeah, super highs.
Love it. Up next, barrier breaking.
Yes. Oh my god, I love her.
I was not ready. I did not know that this cuckoo was happening today. I did not know that the role was such a butch role, and I did not know that she would take advantage of this very runway to present a drag king look.
Yeah, that was perfect. I mean, she was super lucky that like it was that runway on that episode where she portrayed the guy in the Rusical. Amazing. I was also like so stunned that like the chest piece that she's wearing, like hello, like that looks so great, like great as in like real. I was like, hello.
Yeah. Now, I mean, the performance in the Rusical was hilarious because I wasn't expecting to see this like mob boss character. Be obvious for me, I didn't understand a word of it, but apparently nobody else did either, which I think was kind of.
I'm German. I don't think you were supposed to understand what they were saying, but I think that's amazing because like Germany is like smaller than Texas, right? I don't know if y'all know this, but
Size as Montana, if that means anything to anyone.
It doesn't mean anything to me. but I was gagged when I found out that it's smaller than Texas. Like you can drive for like 100 kilometers. I don't know how many miles that is. I don't deal with that nonsense. But you will end up in a place where you cannot understand what the people are saying. And I thought that the role was amazing. She did a great job. Her looks were great.
That was a really smart move, just like Metamorkid using that accent to their benefit in the challenge. I think that was brilliant. And to be able to show, you know, that butch side of drag, I mean, she is the best qualified contestant to do that. I mean, I've seen on her Instagram that her partner is usually the one that does the drag king looks, and she normally does the femme looks, but obviously she's got a ton of knowledge about how to do this, because the skills needed to perform as a drag king are so different. The makeup skills, the movement type, the performance notes that you need are entirely different. I mean, whereas most drag is this exaggerated caricature of femininity, drag kings are this exaggerated caricature of masculinity, which there's so much material to work with there.
Definitely much more material than with femininity, but yeah.
But this look on the runway literally blew me away, and I would meet up with him in any back alley that I could. I mean, this disco daddy with disco ball chaps and this cowboy hat, like I did not see this coming, and holy shit,
no one did, I think.
Yeah, I mean, not only the look and the stance and the mannerisms, but the face. She didn't do without makeup. Like, there's still plenty of makeup, and it is still fabulous as fuck. But the facial hair looks great. That cheeky mustache, The contouring does exactly what it needs to do, and she served it with such attitude. I was so sold.
What I think is amazing about this, she didn't end up in the top, right? Which I think was fair. I loved her performance, I loved her runway. I think there were other queens that deserved that spotlight, but still, everybody knows she's a front runner, right? I mean, this is amazing.
I would have really loved to hear some critiques on this, just to show some
for
to drag. And I mean, she's not the very first queen to do a drag king look on a Drag Race franchise. Victoria Scone did do a drag king look, which was also amazing and also legendary. But I am so glad to see this. I have heard rumors online that one of the American seasons might be including a drag king. I am not getting my hopes up, because I think that would be a huge step forward for the franchise, especially the American franchise. But I think that something like this shows the value in including all types of drag, including drag kings, period.
Yeah, and that's period.
So I'm going to give this dude super duper highs on both accounts.
Yeah. Agreed. Highs.
Okay, next up we have the testicle herself, Tessa Testicle. This is another moment that I thought about Shea Coulee on the runway. And once again, unfortunately for the German queen, Shay's Love the Skin You're In look also, I think, was better done than this. It was more of a complete look, for one. I will say, I do like Tessa's look. I like how glittery it is. I like the unexpectedness. I do love that she is padded. I love that there is some exaggeration to the features, which work really well with the garment. Obviously, it is a little simple and a little confusing, but I do understand those who are underwhelmed by it.
I didn't really get it. I mean, it was glittery, which I liked, but other than that, also she alluded to as gay cis men, we always have this body image issue with perfect bodies. But A, you really fit into this image, and B, you're portraying someone who fits into that image, so I don't really get what you're trying to say right now.
Well, it seemed like an idea that wasn't totally followed through on. It's a good idea. The topic is a great idea, but what she was trying to say about it, I guess, didn't come through. Once again, she was one of the smaller 3 roles in the Rusical, but I thought she did a great job of distinguishing herself from the other characters. She was the influencer, and I thought that she definitely played up that dumb influencer bimbo kind of affect in her voice and her vocal delivery, and she definitely hammed it up on the stage. Once again, it was just a smaller role that made it harder to stand out, so she did do a great job, but it wasn't something that I'm gonna remember.
One of the judges said that the performance in the Rusical was kind of it felt like she was in the lip sync for your life mode, and I agree with that, and I don't think that necessarily translates well to a challenge like that. So
I thought that was a really keen remark.
Yeah, I thought it was smart. I agreed with it.
Because you could tell that there's a little bit of desperation there, and I do think that comes from having been in the bottom and having had to lip sync for your life. And here you are doing the exact same thing, but in one of the challenges, so I can understand that energy being there. I think overall, I'll give her Rusical performance a net, but I am gonna have to give the runway a shice.
Yeah, completely agree.
Sorry, girl. So up next, we have Victoria Shakespeare's. On the runway, she looks like a little pheromone sprite in this shiny blue outfit. My first thought was, again, a bra and panties and some other stuff. I do think it looks good on her, and it does have the, sleevey bits that are a little bit extra and kind of disguise the fact that it is a bra and panties corset bodysuit type situation. I like that the hair is big, but I don't necessarily understand the shape entirely. But she is giving me kind of like a Queen of Atlantis type mystery and holding some sort of uterus, apparently, as the judges remarked.
Yeah, I'm really not too fond of this. As you said, it's just another bra and panties. Like, yeah, we get it, you look good in it, girl. And you do. But the sleeves, I mean, I don't even know if they're sewed on or if it's just like some fabric that she threw around her shoulders. Yeah. It's the same silhouette as always. I don't get the makeup. I mean, her makeup makes her look really alien. And if what she's carrying is like this wound thingy, I would love it a lot more. But then when they bring it up in the critiques, she's like, oh no, that's my hat piece and I just didn't put it on. And I'm like, girl, why are you carrying around it then? Like,
if you're not going to wear it on your head where it goes, then maybe don't bring it on.
Yeah, she should have just left it.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
That's fair. Now, on the other hand, her Rusical performance really was something else. I am familiar with the Sandman from visiting my sister and her kids in Germany. And yeah, when it's time to go to bed, you know,
Sandmann, lieber Sandmann. It was like a stop-motion puppet thingy with like wooden figurines and like Tatort, it's like a staple for many Germans. Like usually he tells you a story and then he sprinkles sand in your eyes, and that's why when you wake up, you have like sand here on your eyes, because that's where
we always called them eye boogers. I feel like she's kind of in a league of her own just because the character of the Sandmännchen was so unique and so different from all of the other characters that she could really do whatever she wanted with it. And luckily, she did a lot with it. Like, she leaned into the weird campiness of the Sandman character and turned it into this, like, kind of deranged gnome character that really had a lot of fun and I thought was really entertaining.
Yeah. No, I agree. I really didn't get it at first, and I was like, why? First of all, I will say, as much as I agree with you that there are roles in Rusicals that like kinda are destined to fail, I think that her role was kinda destined to do well because it was so weird, and all you had to do was just like be even weirder than the role itself. Like, yeah, I was surprised that she leaned into it as much as she did, because I didn't think that she would like get out of her what I perceive as her comfort zone as like a more like performance and look queen. Yeah. I will give her a heist on the Rusical.
Yeah, same.
A nice net for the runway.
Yeah.
But please wear something else next week, girl.
Last but not least, Yvonne Nightstand. First off, regardless of the Rusical or the runway, I have to say, I fall more and more in love with Yvonne every week because her personality is so fucking winning.
Yeah, you just want to hug her and like kiki with her.
Even just during the vocal recording, she is just bringing down the house and making everyone laugh just by being sassy and being hilarious. And she doesn't immediately seem like somebody who's going to do that and who's going to stop a room with a moment, and she continues to deliver that, and I love it. I know I haven't been like as over the top enthusiastic about her runways. I think that they have looked great. I just think that they've lacked a little bit of uniqueness in telling me about like her specifically. But this week, I did not hate this look nearly as much as the judges did.
I really don't get where all the hate is coming from. I think this look is amazing. I even like the top like floating cut of the thing. I really don't understand why they hated it. I thought it was great.
I get that the idea of a baked potato with a foil look is in the Drag Race consciousness, thanks to Jiggly Caliente in season 4, but the fact that it's gold really separates it for me. Like silver, yes, silver foil looks like it belongs around a potato in an oven, but this gold actually looks pretty great.
Yeah.
And this like gold glittery outline that she has of like the female
I loved it.
on the dress. I thought that it was very thought it was very like artsy. Like it's like I don't know, some kind of contemporary art piece, less than like. I guess if you're not looking at it like that, it may look unintentional or like crafty or something, but I thought that the amount of thought that went into the placement of the glitter throughout the look, from the sunglasses to the handbag.
The sunglasses are chef's kiss.
I thought that it was. I didn't think that it was the best look on the runway, but I did not mind it at all. Like I would give it a heist.
Oh, for sure. That's definitely a heist for me as well for the runway. Yeah. There are looks on this runway that were definitely less glittery than this, so I really didn't get the hate.
But then again, in the Rusical, she was one of those 3 small parts, and although, once again, she did a lot to distinguish herself, and a lot to make the most out of the role, it wasn't enough for the judges to save her from the bottom 3. Maybe that was by design, maybe not, but I think that may have contributed to the looking for negative remarks about her look.
Her performance in the Rusical was fine. Again, she didn't stand out as much as she could have, even with a small role like that. We've mentioned before, I feel like nobody really flopped in this Rusical, so
it was not a flop for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll give the performance and the look a heist.
Yeah, I agree.
Put a lot of effort into it, and I thought that it paid off.
Yeah, I agree.
So this week, our top 3 queens are Metamorkid, Victoria Shakespears, and Kelly Hilton. What did you think about that?
I agree, and it was a really tough choice. I mean, I personally would have liked to see Nikita in the top instead of Victoria. I think Nikita did a great job. Her looks were amazing. Her performance was great. She's a great singing voice. She sold the garment.
I agree with you in that I think 2 of those queens definitely deserve their top placement. I honestly wanted to see Pandora Nox in the top. I realize that she's kind of the front runner, but I just would have loved to see some recognition for the unique set of skills that she brought to the runway and to the challenge. Metamorkid ends up getting the win this week.
Yeah.
Which, once again, I am really, really happy for them.
Yeah.
Especially since they haven't won anything yet. I think that it is really great to reward their efforts because they're obviously giving a lot. This look on the runway was incredible, and they knocked the challenge out of the park.
Yeah. A much deserved win. I don't think anyone else deserved it as much as they did.
I do think Kelly was a contender for the best of the week, but it does seem like they are taking the challenge and the runway into account.
Yeah.
Because they really didn't like Kelly's runway. And I think that played a role in her not winning this week. I would have loved to see her win just because she was such a natural in the Rusical.
Yeah. She's so lovable. She's an amazing queen. I think these queens really genuinely look up to Kelly and really love her.
So in the bottom, we have Tessa Testicle, Yvonne Nightstand, and the only Naomi. The bottom 2 end up being Tessa and Naomi. And that being said, I do agree with the judges. As I said before, I didn't think that Yvonne's look was that bad, nor did I think her performance was that bad. So I agree with them saving her from having to lip sync.
Yeah, I agree too. I really didn't get Tessa's look on the runway, and I didn't really like her performance. Naomi, I love you, but yeah.
It is a bit of a controversial lip sync. The internet is definitely on fire about it.
As they should.
Yes. Just to state it clearly, Tessa wins the lip sync and stays, while Naomi loses the lip sync and goes home. But I think it highlights more than anything the hands of production in every bit of the show.
I need to say that Naomi's reveal in the lip sync, she looks stunning. Like, the look that she brought after the reveal, I thought that was something not, like, mind-blowingly different for her, but at least it was a bit, like, I really loved it.
I feel conflicted about it because I really love Tessa, and I'm really drawn to her personality. I do think that she was lackluster in this episode and almost seemed like she had kind of given up, but at the same time, while I love a good reveal, I am wary of performers over-relying on reveals to carry the entertainment value. I immediately think of the season 9 finale, the semifinal lip sync between Trinity the Tuck and Peppermint. And I love Peppermint, but she wasted half that lip sync just kind of standing there and made the entire thing about a reveal. And she won, while Trinity was like going all out the entire time. And I kind of hated that because I thought that the gimmick of the reveal was carrying too much of the weight for the quality of the lip sync. And not that Naomi like relied on the reveal, because she did give a good performance throughout, but it was obvious that production was thinking about more than just the lip sync. But the resounding sentiment online is that Naomi totally won the lip sync and that they're confused as to why Tessa stayed. But we just have to remember it's a TV show. And although it is a, quote, reality competition show, there's more that's going on behind the scenes than just what we're seeing.
Yeah. I'm very upset. I really love Naomi. I was just really surprised by her personality and by her skills. You could also say in the same way that like doing flips and splits and jumping from the thingy is also an easy way to grab attention. It's just a different skill set. I personally thought that Naomi's lip sync was like more crisp. Like I felt like she had the words down better than Tessa did. I think she pulled out something we haven't seen from her yet. I mean, this is her first time lip syncing. It's Tessa's second time. Tessa straight up admitted that she wasn't prepared at all. So yeah, I really don't get why they... I was literally screaming at my screen. I was like, what? What? Why? Like literally screaming.
But I agree. I mean, each elimination is tough, and I may not always agree with what the judges say, but you know, we move on to the next episode.
Yeah.
And wish Naomi all the best. All the success, and I hope that
so much love.
These 3 episodes on TV have given her enough exposure that fans will really just flock to her and support, you know, her art. Because that's what this show is all about, is giving queens exposure and giving them a platform to reach new people. And that's why even when the show is messy, I can't help but love it, because it shows me new talent and new queens that I just fall in love with. So, well, thank you so much again for joining me here this week to gab about this 3rd episode of Drag Race Germany. I still am so impressed by these queens and can't wait to see what they do this season.
Yeah, I agree. It's amazing. Thank you for having me again. And thank you for putting in all the work. Yeah.
You know me. It's not like I have anything better going on.
Oh, no. You're the least busy person I know.
Well, and thank you everyone at home for joining us as well, and we hope that you will join us next week, where we will cover episode 4 of Drag Race Germany Season 1. See which one of these queens inches their way closer to taking on the crown. Thank you. Bye.